Hey everybody, what's going on? Hope everybody doing well today. We have a fun video and we're gonna get to it. I am the real Ice O, and I don't know what this is. This is not Traffic Chronicles, but it's something. But we're not gonna do much monologue. We gonna get it cracking. Alright. Yeah, one thing we're gonna talk about a lot of things, not a lot of things, but a couple things. Let's see. We're gonna talk about everybody's favorite topic. Why men and women can't get along, or something of that nature. And I think that I've said in the past that all these problems are economic in nature, and just the way that we were brought up, we weren't brought up to be economically savvy. So, you got men doing one thing, and then you got women doing another thing, and all the while they're supposed to be doing things that complement one another. That's why I say that. What's a neighbor to doing? Okay, that's why I say that boys and girls should be separated in in junior high, because when they're learning the same things, it's kind of like a competition or whatnot, and that's really unhealthy for society. I'd say, um, like I need to stop saying like, like the simps, they'll say stuff like, "We need to protect the women at all costs." And what's up? What's up?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
I'm
How are you? Cool, cool,
fine.
cool. So I was just monologuing to you, join. But so basically, you got the topic
Yes.
right. Okay, so my thing is, for everybody that's watching, we talking about the Manosphere. Okay, so I make content for I've been making content for a long time, just unofficially, and of course, a lot of things might overlap. A lot of ideas and thoughts might overlap with somebody else's thoughts and ideas. But my main thing is the Manosphere is unhealthy, very unhealthy, because they set up this narrative or this scenario that's extreme, and basically it leads you to just hating women. Now, I'll never get to the point where I hate women. I was talking to a guy the other day, and he was saying the same thing, that the manosphere is kind of like quasi gay, and he said, he asked me what would I do if Thanos snapped his finger and all the women in the world are gone, and I'm like, shit, I might I might kill myself. Like,
Right.
I'm not saying that like my whole life centers around women, but a life without women is a world without women is,
It's no life.
yeah, it's dull. It's just an existence. Like, if somebody asks me, like, I don't mean to get graphic. Somebody asks me, you cut off your manhood or you can kill yourself. I'd rather kill myself.
Yes.
Like, I mean, that's, I don't know, but um, I think the way we got here is an overcorrection of feminism.
Yes.
Because for years the male side, the man side was never told. Every time there was a breakup happening, it's like, what did you? They'd ask me like, what did you do? Or they'd ask like one of my friends like, what did you do to her? And that's, it's not always like that. A lot of times, women be out of line, but I mean that's just human nature. So like, what do you think about all that?
Yeah, so like going into what you're saying, definitely the manosphere, you talk about Fresh and Fit, Andrew Tate, Kevin Samuels, etc. Like, all of those people in the manosphere and the red pill, so to speak. It definitely was to combat feminism at first. And for that, I initially liked all of them to begin with. But then all of a sudden, somewhere in that area of things, it just started to go left, like just started to go completely degenerate, if you ask me. Like, I feel like, yes, they hate women. So initially, I stood up for Kevin Samuels in one of my very first YouTube video. It was at the time where there was like black women and they wanted to ban Kevin Samuels. Remember, they was doing a petition at that time
Just
to get
yeah,
fine. And for me, I'm one for freedom of speech. So that mixed with me liking Kevin Samuels or being in support of him, I totally disagreed with those women because um, I mean, yes, they have different views from him. They're polar opposites for him from him. But that doesn't mean that you could just get him off online. But then even further down with Kevin Samuels, just pretty much the Manosphere or even Andrew Tate, like it just started to just go completely left for me. It was like I'm like, do these guys hate women? And then the stuff that they advocate for, it's it's like they show that they have discipline when they work out or when they're getting money and they're manly men in that aspect, right?
yeah,
But then you see them having fun. They have all these chicks around them. They're at like yacht parties or regular parties, lots of alcohol, lots of women, and it's just very degenerate behavior. It's blasphemy and it's gluttony. It's just over impulsive and bad nature
yeah.
that they're putting.
Overindulgence. Yeah, yeah.
So
My thing is like I look at Kevin Sam. Oh, did I cut you off by the way?
no,
Okay. Like I look at Kevin Samuels, and it was funny, like him going back and forth with women and stuff like that, and you know, no man is gonna do that. I'm not gonna go back and forth with a woman. I might get like two jabs in and be like, I'm done. But he would try to like break him down and kind of like humble him. And I just say, let life humble people. Like a lot of those women that came on, they were lying. They were talking about like how they only date guys that make like $1 million or like $500,000 and all that. Half
yeah.
of those chicks would be lucky if somebody take them to Wendy's. Even like the real pretty chicks. See, like the real, like a lot of real pretty women, and it blows my mind. But they have low self esteem and low standards. I don't understand it. They'll kind of like. I think that I don't know how to phrase this, but it's kind of like soft prostitution.
It is.
You're going for the like, and I always tell like women go for the highest bidder, but look at what he's offering. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about the totality of everything. Would you rather would you rather have would you rather be married to a guy that is a billionaire, gives you everything, but he's absent, and y'all have children together. He's not there for the children, but he provides everything. Or would you rather have a guy that provides what you need, but he can't give you the luxurious lifestyle, but he's there for you and the children? What would you rather have?
I prefer the second option. He's there for me and the children. He doesn't have as much money because I always say for myself, I don't want a rich man. I want a wholesome man. And it's like two total different things. So, yes, going into what you're saying, I often hear, even like on the Kendra G show, for example, I always hear women calling in. They automatically, first things first, they say they want a man with six figures minimum. And I'm like, why are you clocking men for their money? And then it's like, for me, when I say that from a female's perspective, it sounds like I'm settling for less, or it doesn't even sound realistic what I'm saying at all. Like, yeah, I want a wholesome man. I don't want a rich man. I mean, if he's rich, that's fine, but I want a man that's wholesome. Whenever I start a relationship again, when he's wholesome, it's kind of like that video with what's her name? Remember, Ebony Williams was saying she wouldn't date a bus driver, so this kind of goes into that topic, right?
Yeah,
And Ivana, how do you say her
Iana
name?
Van Zant. Iana Van Zant.
I liked everything that she said when she was speaking back to Ebony Williams. She was saying, we're not talking about men that just sleep on the couch and play video games all day because that's not a productive man. That's not a wholesome man, right? That's like a lazy couch potato guy, right? But she's saying that if a man is passionate about whatever he does, that's like what makes him a good guy. And that's a trait of being a wholesome man for me too. Like I want a man that's none of us are perfect, by the way, but not me. I'm not
I'm
perfect.
perfect,
But when hmm?
not perfect. I'm almost now. I'm playing.
But when I say that I want a wholesome man, I just want a man that he knows what he wants. Day by day, he's doing the proper protocol to get to wherever he has to get, and he can be rich or wealthy. But I just want him to do that for him, not for me. Because I think as women, we get the emphasis on, oh, self care, self love, and take care of yourself. And we put the pressure on men to be the leaders and take care of society. But nobody encourages men to be wholesome. Be wholesome within yourself as a man so that you can take care of me and the children or whomever for that matter. But take care of yourself first. And I don't think nobody emphasized that for men.
Describe wholesomeness because I think when you say that, when you just tell like somebody just watching from afar, they're just gonna say, "Well, the manosphere they tell me to be wholesome. They tell me to focus on themselves and chase the bag and just and get on their purpose and all that." And they say totally forget the women. So that's kind of like taking care of yourself. In from the man's perspective. So like, what do you mean by
Yeah,
wholesome? Like, what do you mean by
that's true. Like you see on like the Manosphere, whatever those shows are, or Fresh and Fit, and all of them, and Andrew Tate especially. You see them; they like to work out. They take care of themselves. They are very wholesome and disciplined in that sense, but they lack discipline when it comes to women. So yes, they're wholesome in the fitness and health and wealth area, but they're not wholesome and complete when it comes to their lady or which woman they would want to represent them as a man, right? So they're not completely wholesome. So I would say a wholesome man is yeah, like one that has a career path, whatever, or whether he's trying to do a business or whatever he's trying to do, whether he wants to be a CEO or a manager or plumber, run a plumbing company, whatever, you name it. He's taking the steps to get there day by day. He takes care of himself, cleans up nice. Doesn't necessarily mean he has to be the best dresser, but he takes care of himself. He's wholesome, clean. He eats healthy, cleans himself up, does what he has to do to get to whatever plan he has. Um, Gentleman and respectful to ladies, respectful to his mother. That's number one. Family guy. Uh,
hold on.
but
Time,
mhm.
time out. What if his mother is a bitch?
Huh?
What if his mother is a bitch?
Oh man, he definitely has to seek some healing and address it on the root because I don't want him to go through a cycle of okay, he has a bad relationship with his mother, and then that's how he's going to treat women overall. So if he doesn't address that and nip it, how his relationship is with his mother, that's how it's going to be with all women.
I don't know
Doesn't
about
if he
that.
if he doesn't address it, I'm not saying all men that have bad relationships with their mother will have bad relationships with women, but if he doesn't address his traumas or whatever it is that he's going through with his mother, it's going to be a never-ending cycle with how he treats women.
So do you think that men like that are looking for mothers and other women?
It can
And the women,
not all, but it can be. Yes, that can definitely because they're trying to complete themselves with a woman's love, a woman's nurture, and unfortunately, they didn't get that from their mom.
so what is a woman's? I'm gonna ask you because like like that $1 million question. Like, what do you bring to the table? Like everybody hates that, and I'm just like, you should be able to answer it with ease, and because I think that it triggers a lot of women because they have low expectations of men. They think that all that men want is just sex. So they always say, "You get me," and I'm like, "Well, who the hell are
Then
you?" Like,
that's it, right?
I'm like, there are millions of yous. Like, who the? Like, whew.
Well, I know
I,
me, I bring loyalty, honor, and integrity. That's just who I am in my foundation. Good team player. Um, my morals and my values and my principles. And whatever goal the man has or whatever goal I have, we have to go through that together as a team. Um, and I believe in both hand wash the other. I mean, one hand washes the other, both hand washes the face.
okay,
So I don't think about putting all the pressure on the man. Like, I have to be there, support him as he supports me, bring my nurturing nature because I am very nurturing. Um, so I mean, I haven't been in a relationship for 3 years, so kind of rusty with that answer. But I
Is that
good,
bad?
I know I'm a good person, so
Is that bad out here? You haven't been in a relationship for 3 years?
yeah, I've been. So I don't know. I mean, I think I answered that question all right, but I am single, so yeah.
Okay. I have a I have a friend. She's pretty like you, and
Oh, thank you.
can't. It's like she can't fathom like what I try to tell her. Because I try to tell her like there are good men out here. Like you have to get in front of more people. That's why like sometimes I ask her to go live with me, but I guess she's shy. I don't know, but she said that one time I think she was at like a restaurant or a grocery store or something or at work, I don't know. And some guy just came up behind her and said, I like what I see. And then she said that, is that how you talk to women? She said, is that how you talk to women? And like, well, she said like, I'm married or something like that. And then, she walked away all upset and then she called me and I'm just like, well, I'm like, you gotta see that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that like one thing about me, like anybody that comes across me, I want them to be more whole than they were before they came. You know, so
Explain.
if you think men ain't shit and you meet me, I want you to leave believing that there's hope in men. That's what I mean.
That goes
So
to you telling your lady friend to be more open, like have an open mind and don't prejudge.
I'm saying to be more. Don't just have a hairline trigger because some people like for instance, like if I go somewhere, I like to just talk to people. I like to interact with people. So I see a woman looking upset and I might just engage with her. I'll be like, hey, what's wrong with you? It's gonna be all right. And then she starts laughing and all that. And whereas I could have just like turned around and be like, man, like I went to the store and then this lady, man, she had this resting bitch face and all black women, they all got attitudes and all that stuff like that. Whereas I gave her the opportunity to respond to something instead of just writing her off. So like the guy or whatever, like young man or old man, whatever, because old men be on some weird stuff these days. But if he said I like the way I like what I see, I told her, well, you got to work on your mouthpiece because some guys are like so shy. They're shy, but they're bold at the same time. They don't want to miss the opportunity, but they don't know what to say. So they say something that's maybe off-putting. So I was like, you have to work on switching the situation around. You know, you say like he says, I like what I see, and I'm like, well, what do you like? I told her, ask him, what do you like about it? And then if he starts saying something sexual, so you just come back with him like, so all you think about is sex, huh? Just show people themselves. That's what I'm saying, but don't be harsh about it. You know,
And that's the culture that we're living in, whether it's like on topic how we're talking about the manosphere. We're living in a hypersexual culture. And I know for me, I don't know what your lady friend deals with like on the regular, but for me, I deal with like when there are guys trying to talk to me. Like, for example, a few weeks ago, I was at work. This guy doesn't know me from a can of paint or whatever. And when I'm starting my car up on the inside of at my job and warming my car up and I'm just waiting, he said to me, I want you tonight. And I'm like, me. And I'm like, I said to him, are you talking about sex? He was like, yeah, I'm being honest, right? Don't women want guys to be honest? So that's one example. Or there'll be guys that try to talk to me and then I'll let them know like, hey, I don't view you that way. And they'll still try to pursue, still try, even though I'm like, you know, and I don't know. With me, I'm on my own little spiritual journey too. Within the past 3 years of, what keeps me single, what keeps me celibate. It's a few things that play a factor in it, and including the vaccine plays a part in that too. So that's another topic. But just the hypersexual culture, just knowing that there are men out there, not all, but there are a lot of men having sex with a lot of women, and there are men out there having sex with other men. Um, you kind of put all these things together, kind of makes it easy to stay celibate because I don't want any parts of that. I don't want to abuse my body off of what other people or other men are doing. So, and then I don't know, at this point it's been 3 years, and I think lately I kind of been going towards probably thinking about waiting for marriage. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I mean, I'm
Okay,
capable of doing it, but I don't know if it's going to happen.
that makes me sad to hear that. Like a lot of women kind of don't think they're gonna get married anymore. Like, is that bad out here, or maybe it's just the internet? Maybe we're on the internet too much. But then you talk about like some experience that you had, and for the what the guy said, he said, "Isn't that what women want?" So then I'm like, okay, well then I guess men have low expectations of women as well.
Yeah, it's funny, through these 3 years, I've been setting boundaries, having higher expectations. So I've been dodging a lot of bullets, and in this case, the bullets are men. And I hate to sound like that, but they just haven't been right for me, and they just, I don't know.
So let me ask you this. All right. So help the guys out because there's probably some guys that are gonna watch it, that are gonna watch this video, be like, I always wanted to talk to her. All right. So how should a man approach a woman?
Don't be thirsty, and don't tell her I want you. I know
How
that.
how does that?
That's for sure. Like, not. Um,
That's what I'm saying. Hold on. You said don't tell them I want you, right?
yeah,
So
the way that happened to me a few weeks ago.
I've had I've had women to where like like I was just trying to fill them out and see what they were about, and they would be like, well, I didn't think you liked me. Like after it's all said and done, like a year later, they'd be like, I didn't think you liked me. And I'm like, well, I mean, I'm calling you, like I'm giving you attention, like I'm taking you out. Like how the hell, like what does that mean? Like you think I'm just like charitable? Like so when you say that, don't be thirsty or don't tell them that you want them, like how if you don't, then you might end up she might end up thinking that you're just
And
chill.
disciplined men are the best. And as a woman, I shouldn't be one to tell a man how his actual sex drive should be, and neither should women, because we have just two different anatomies as men and women. That's just off the rip. But I think a man should be respectful. He should conduct himself as a gentleman. Um, and then how people always say, well, you could tell when you look at somebody in the first few seconds, whether you would have sex with them or not, right? So yes, you have to have discipline. You can't just for me, I've been talking about gluttony a lot, and I know in the Bible, gluttony it automatically refers to food, but it could also refer to sex, alcohol, drugs, and just having an overabundance on toxic things and just overindulging yourself, right? Which creates a toxic atmosphere. So I think that men should be disciplined. Don't display yourself as a dog, or don't when I say don't be thirsty, don't display yourself as a man that just looks like he'd have sex with any
Yeah,
woman.
okay. I get what you're saying. I didn't think we were just specifically talking about sex. I thought you just talking about like typical like interest, like overall interest in a person.
Even
Like I mean,
interest, a man could show a woman interest, but I would say for that part of it, don't come on too aggressive. You can wheeze yourself in somehow. I don't know. I'm the last person to tell somebody about game, but just everything just goes with like respect and dignity, and conduct yourself correct as a man, I would say.
okay, yeah, I think I would have to agree with you on that. I kind of hate how sex is just always thrown in our faces. Um, like when I see a chick, like when I go out and I see a chick that's wearing like barely wearing clothes. Me personally, I feel like you're sexually assaulting me because
Why that way?
why do I look at it that way?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let me think. Let's say, all right, let's say I walk out. Let's say I walk out in like a real crowded area, right? At my like physical peak, like I'm like 8% body fat, right? And I'm fairly tall, got broad shoulders, and I wear no shirt and just some boxer briefs. You know, I got my calves out, my thigh, my quad muscles, all that. You know, the sun is shining, and I'm just glistening in front of all these people. How like what is everybody gonna think? They're gonna be like, that's indecent.
True.
He needs to cover up. What is
Yes,
he trying to do?
that's correct.
He's forcing on us. That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
women have to do better in that department, you know, and going back to the hypersexual culture that we see, I hold men and women accountable. You know, I don't just blame men. You know, women are making themselves easy and accessible, and then you have men that are like addicted to sex, constantly having sex with different women. And I know I talk about this often where after a while the dopamine effect wears off with men having multiple women. And I'm not talking about a man that has like one girlfriend and like two side chicks, but just a guy that just goes rampant in gluttony again, like, you know, has sex with a lot of women, then he ends up going to the transgenders and full blown men. And you know, this culture is just disgusting, this hypersexual culture.
God,
And again, I blame men and women alike. I'm not just blaming one or the other. But men are supposed to be leaders, and this goes back to the manosphere, right? Men are supposed to be leaders,
yeah,
right? So, right? So
mhm,
men
yeah,
are
I agree.
supposed to be leaders. So if you're out here having sex with multiple women and you're talking about, oh, women aren't supposed to be satisfied, only the men are supposed to be satisfied sexually, just all the rhetoric, you know, the stuff that they spew out, or even they're even talking about now, like getting they don't want women to vote. So all these things are just like this is just like the opposite side of the coin from feminism, the manosphere, right? Like they're the same despite being polar opposites, correct?
Yeah,
It's just
just
very it's like tug of war. It's this battle of the sexes, and I've been talking about this for a while now. And these men, like if I was to say like Fresh and Fit, Mediocre Tutorial, Andrew Tate, I would not classify, or even Justin Waller or whatever, you know, all those guys and their affiliates, I wouldn't consider them as leaders. I can't.
well, see, that's the thing. That's the thing that about this whole leadership thing, because there are some honorable men that are worthy of leadership, but the problem is people don't follow them, or like people are scared to follow them. So you know, as to who's to blame, no nobody is telling these women to go out like that, to go out with no clothes. In fact, a lot of times a guy will tell a girl like you need to cover up, and she'll be like, who the hell are you? Who the hell are you to tell me that I gotta cover up?
That's what women say when their man tell them that, and when it's like a man that's just not even if the man is not their boyfriend or relative, even just a man just looking at them from afar and they're just giving them advice, and these women just shun them away, right? When they give them
Yeah,
that advice.
just disregard
Mm-hmm.
guarding him, you know, because and then my friend, like my homegirl, she's always saying that she's always saying that hoes are winning and the good girls are losing. And I'm like, how do you think that hoes are winning? She said, well, they're getting married. I'm like,
That's true.
look at the quality of their marriage. Is that really marriage?
Not gonna last.
That's what I'm saying. Like a marriage, a marriage is supposed to be two people that are united together in truth, that are like totally one in truth. So you know they're not the same person, but you know their values are the same. You know, so like, you know, and then they share like I was telling somebody the other day, like a wife, the difference between a wife and a girlfriend or like a baby mother or something like that. a wife shares fully with a like a man's wife shares fully with him everything, like his inheritance, you know, his resources, everything. You know, it's like that question, if a woman is married to a millionaire, does that make her a millionaire or a millionaire's wife? That makes her a millionaire.
Yes, because you become one.
Yeah. So like these marriages, like they're, I mean, I don't want to say psyop, but you know, they kind of like put these marriages out there like they're real, and it just it's like it's just BS. And like I look at, and you probably not gonna like this. I look at Russell and Sierra, and I'm like, man, I would not want to be Russell in that situation. Like I don't know if that's I don't know if that's real, or I think like maybe Russell got like suckered because you know he really likes Sierra, but you know I look at how Sierra carries herself, and it looks so scripted and fake to me. So if that's what we're looking at as these hoes are winning, I don't know if that's winning because
So would you consider Sierra as a hoe?
yes,
Why
yes,
so?
because how she carries herself. She may not be a whore, but she don't carry herself like the wife of an upstanding man. You know, like I wish my woman would be like coming anywhere I am half naked. Like, like that, you gonna see another dude that day. Like I don't know. Like remember? Have you seen Forrest Gump?
Yes.
Forrest Gump has more balls than Russell Wilson. Remember when Jenny was playing the guitar?
Oh, out like Jenny was actually a slut.
Yeah, Jenny was a hoe, but I mean Forrest was retarded though. But he loved her. Like
Genuinely,
yeah,
yeah.
and he didn't let her when 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 she was around him, he didn't let her just behave anyhow. You know, like when she was playing the guitar in front of those servicemen butt naked, like he was like, "Oh hell no! Like you need to cover up."
Snatched
Like,
her up. Yeah.
yeah, he was a man about it, but Russell, he just like, let's Bronco Nation, let's
I
ride.
I get mad at men when they call Russell a simp and all that stuff. Um he chose her. He chose to be in a relationship with her. Um I don't know, like, and people always say like he's wrong. You know how they waited for marriage? I guess it's wrong because she already had a son. Do you think so? Does that apply to me? That being that I have a daughter and I'm single, I can't wait until marriage.
That's up to you and whoever
Like, it's
that you.
man. If I get with a man, he knows that I have a daughter, right?
Hmm,
Um, is he a simp to wait for marriage with me?
is he a simp?
Because
That doesn't make him a simp.
that's what I'm hearing. The reason why I'm asking that question is because that's what I hear people say about Russell.
That
That
doesn't.
why would he wait to till marriage? I mean, yes, wait to have sex. What am I saying? Okay, I've heard a lot of guys, and I've even gone back and forth with them on Facebook the past, what, 6, 7 years? I can't believe been that long in terms of Sierra and Russell. And they're like, why would he wait to have sex with her until marriage, being that she already has a son and she's been with like Bow Wow, 50 Cent, etc. And so, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at me, I have a child already, right? But me and my daughter have been we have not been together since she was a baby. And me now, I've been single for 3 years. So if I get with a man and let's say maybe we're walking on the same journey, or maybe it's spiritual or something, we have similarities, and we wait to have sex until marriage. Does that make him a simp?
No, that doesn't make him a simp.
It does-
That don't make
Why is Russell a simp? I,
because
I guess I don't know if I'm saying it wrong.
he's a simp because how he allows Sierra to behave and present herself. My wife is a representation of me.
Fact.
So if she's putting out trash, then that means I'm trash, or she thinks I'm trash.
I have to admit, I remember a couple of months ago. because I always defend Russell and Sierra. Like, and I've even gone into saying things that people are not used to, when it comes to baby mama, baby father culture, so to speak. People are not used to black men stepping up as stepfathers with single black mothers. So that was like one, I think I said that in a video or something, or I've been talking about that with people. But then it was like right after I did that video or had a debate with somebody or just basically defending Russell and Sierra, she freaking like a week or two after that, she went to the award. I don't even know which award show it was. And do you remember what I'm talking about when she went to the award and she had like a fishnet
The
outfit?
see-through dress.
Did you see
That's what.
through? Yeah, and I was just like, I said, come on. I was like, come on. And that goes into what you're saying, that real women don't do that. Like as a wife, you don't do that because you're misrepresenting your wedding. I mean your marriage.
Yeah,
You,
you miss that. That's the whole respect thing. You're not respecting your man, and
no,
that's why I say Russell's a simp. That's why I say that. I don't say that because he's a stepfather. Like if I met a woman, I would rather talk to a woman that she had a child that's totally disconnected from the father. I'd rather talk to that woman because if the father is involved and the child has to go back and forth between our household and the father, then that child is bringing the influence of another man in my house.
I can understand that.
So
I respect
and
any man's decision. They're like, when men say that they don't want to be with a woman that has a child, like you want what you want, just like women want what they want, men want what they want.
it's not. But see, the thing is, like it for me, like I don't care what people say. What's more important to me is why they have that opinion. That's what's more important to me. So like if the guy if the father of that child is like an immoral person or unrighteous person, then every time we release that child to him, that child is in danger, and that child is gonna bring back bad 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 habits to my household, and then that's gonna affect my children.
You're talking about the
So
cultural aspect.
it's yeah. I mean, I guess you could say that, but I would just rather I would just rather like he just leave the picture like altogether. I don't want his child support in my house. Like I don't. It said I'd rather have one child than a house full of a bunch of children. House full. I
How
don't even
much
understand that.
is and I'm referring to that comment too. How much is a bunch of children? Is it like three or four? Is it two? How much is a bunch of children?
I mean, for me, I say three.
Three.
Yeah,
And you have children, right?
I don't have any
You
children.
don't?
Yeah, that's my
That's your
nephew.
nephew? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he
Okay.
just looks like me. But
So I can understand even more, being that you don't have children yourself, I can understand even more why you would say that.
yeah, I mean, even if I had children, I don't want another man's influence in my house. Like if I'm gonna lead, I have to lead. I
I can
gotta
respect that.
I gotta know everything that's going on with my wife and my children. That's what being a father is. You are the CEO of your home, and you have to know what's going on with everybody. That's the thing. Like a man could come home and be going through so much, and his wife will have no idea, like none. Now the wife, like she'll know what's going on with the children, but she'll have, a lot of times, the husband will be holding it so well she doesn't realize that he's going through a lot, but yet he'll know everything that's going on with her if he's being the man that he's supposed to be. So I don't. And you know, for me to know something, like knowing something is pointless if I can't do anything about it. So if my child is going through something, I have to protect them at all times. So I don't want to send my child to another man's house, and then that child comes back, and then it's just I gotta undo everything he did. That's bad for the child.
That is.
So I mean, am I
No,
wrong? Maybe I don't know. I don't know.
you're not wrong.
That's just how I feel about it.
No,
But
you're not wrong to feel that way. Like you have your preferences, just like there are women out there that don't want to deal with men that have children, right? So
that's rare though. That's
is
rare.
it?
Yeah, that's rare. I've never seen I've never seen a woman say, "I don't want a man without. I don't want a man that has children." I've never seen that, me personally.
It's funny because me, even before having a child of my own, I didn't mind dating a guy with a child or like one or two or whatever.
You know
So
what I'm saying? Okay.
I thought it was just me being a free spirit.
Yeah, that's
Deb Namarick, I don't know if I'm pronouncing, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but you said a bunch of children is four. That's actually pretty considerate. A man dating a lady that has four
that's
children.
very
That's
considerate. Yeah,
considerate.
that's very lenient.
I don't know. I don't know why I thought maybe he was saying two or something. It's Eric. Hi, Eric. I'm just saying that if you would deal with a woman that has four children that's not yours, you're being very considerate. So
Another thing that I kind of like take issue with a lot of guys saying is for men to not get married.
yes, and
But
that's also the manosphere rhetoric as of late, right?
yeah, that's very unhealthy for society.
It is. It
So,
is.
um, I know a guy. He's well to do. He was married, had a child, and it ended up in a bad divorce. And he said he'll never get married again. But he has some other kids on the way, and I'm just like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, I thought you don't want to get married. He's like, yeah, but I mean, I can still have kids. I'll just send them child support. So I'm just like,
Like nothing.
yeah, he just said it. I'll just send them child support, and if the child gets sick, like, let the mom send the child to me. And I'm just like, I'm just thinking like, okay, so basically you're throwing your seeds in the wind, and your seeds are scattering all over the place. It's kind of hard to manage them like that, So I don't. I think that the manosphere they need to preach. They need to preach first of all, like standards. Have standards for yourself. Don't just be like a dog running around with your tongue out all the time trying to sniff ass.
Exactly.
You gotta have some standards, and then you have to be more astute when it comes to choosing women. Like when I was younger, I used to give the girls that I really liked, well, that I thought that were like really attractive, I used to give them a longer rope, and that's wrong. Like if somebody's if somebody has a transgression, it needs to be dealt with. It doesn't. You don't say transgression after transgression after transgression after transgression to the point where it's like, okay, like this has to stop. Nah, like the first time you screw up, it has to be addressed, and you have to be willing to accept that she might not rock with, how you want to run the ship. That's cool, you know. So it got to the point, like in my mid 20s, where I'm like, okay, well, look, this is how we do over here. So you can shape up or you can ship out. It's up to you, So it's like, um, you know, that whole thing about giving a woman a chance after chance just because you think she's so beautiful, and you have hopes that maybe she'll act right. Like that's where a lot of guys get burned, and that's where a lot of women get
It's a
burned too.
set up for failure and it's not a realistic expectation. I have to ask you, I can't even defend your friend and call him religious. There are men out there, some, maybe they're Catholic or what have you, or whatever religion. There are some men that really believe not to get married again. How do you feel about that? Like from a biblical standpoint or anything along those lines, like what do you think?
What is the alternative? Like what? I don't. I'm all for marriage. I think marriage makes a healthier society. I think that's why our society is so sick because we have a warped view of marriage.
Oh no, marriage
But
is beautiful, but I'm asking you, do you think like, okay, let's say you marry a woman, maybe you were married to her for 5 or 8 years, let's just say, would you be open to being like, let's say, unfortunately, if you divorce you and her, whatever reasoning, down the line, do you see yourself marrying again?
of course, I've seen old people single, and it's not a good sight to see.
Yeah.
Besides, like I said, you life ain't too like life isn't life is not like colorful without women.
No, not at all. And not without men. It goes both ways. Like we as men and women, we definitely complete each other. And it's kind of lost in transaction with the battle of the sexes. It's just horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, I think that I think that the people that are leading the manosphere, a lot of them are socially awkward. A lot of them, a lot of them are leading people to be gay.
Thank you.
A lot of them were just, a lot of them like,
I
yeah, I don't.
I be thinking Myron is gay.
You think who?
Myron.
Who was that? The Fresh and Fit?
Byron Gaines.
I don't even know who that is. I don't.
That's the Sudanese guy from Fresh and Fit.
Oh, okay, okay. The I don't like talking about people, but like,
I'm you're just saying manosphere. I'm kind of going inside of it a little bit
yeah,
more. So
I
it's
have.
me doing it. The lady is doing it, not the guy. He's not like going into, oh, this guy's. I'm doing it, not him.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I'm talking about the fresh and fit. I'm talking about the Muslim,
Yeah. The
and that probably
like
plays a part in it too.
we'll talk about that another time. But
Not to cut you off, I had posted up on Twitter. I had put a picture of Myron and Elon Umar right next to each other, and I said that they're both like a danger to America. Um, you know Elon Umar, right? The congresswoman with the hijab from
yeah,
Somalia.
Molly woman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the one that just went off the other day saying like that, you know, because Ethiopia wants some of the water and from Somaliland, which is not even a claimed land by Somalia, and there's a dispute going on with that. And she disrespected America on one side of the coin. Then on the flip side of things, she was like, "We're going to make sure the U.S. government helps us." Just all this type of stuff. So I had posted a video saying her ass needs to get kicked out of Congress and she needs to get deported. And then after that, seeing that Myron from Fresh and Fit or whatever, who's also from Africa, they're both from the Horn of Africa, and I just pretty much posted a picture of both of them next to each other. I'm saying that he's a danger to women because he spews out that toxic manosphere rhetoric, and I'm saying that she's a danger to Americans. I don't know. Maybe I was being petty, even though my parents come from the Horn of Africa too. But I tend to be an asshole like that. So, but they're both a hazard to America, nonetheless, for men and women. So, I mean, I just had to put that out there. But I think he's gay. I personally, you're not saying this like you don't care as a man. I'm saying me as the woman in this conversation. I'm saying that I think he's gay. He it seems like he really hates women. Do I think he's trolling? Do I think some of these guys on I mean, you have to troll, right? Just to kind of make things more interesting in your videos. Even just early things, she's on board with them as well. I think she trolls a lot too, but she as a woman is saying that women shouldn't vote. I don't know, maybe I'm being too political right now, but this is all
I I kind of understand where she's coming from when she says that.
you agree with that?
Um, do I agree with that? Okay, I don't think a lot of people should vote. I don't think that voting should be a right that everybody should have. Like I don't think so because there's a lot of stupid ass people out here that they're kind of diluting the franchise with bullshit. Instead of voting for somebody because they're the right person for the job, they're like, well, he's black or she's black, so I'm gonna vote for them. Or just something silly like, or I like the way she looks, or I like the way he looks, so I'm gonna vote for them.
Exactly. I,
Or if
I
she run
will
around,
say what I will say for sure is when it comes to the president of America, I can't speak for other countries, right? I'm here. The president should not be a woman. That's for sure. We should not have a woman president. And then Nikki Haley, you see, she's Indian. No,
oh,
no, no. Huh?
she looks like, how's she Indian?
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that. I thought
Nikki
she was white.
Haley is Indian, and when I say she's Indian, I'm talking about just like Vivek Ramaswamy. She's Hindu,
Are you
but she's different. No, no, sorry, she's not Hindu. She's with the Sikh religion. She's not Hindu, but she's Indian. She's from the country. Her parents are from the country of India,
wow?
but she was raised in South Carolina, which is kind of unusual. I don't really think there's a high Indian population in South Carolina, but yeah, she's Indian.
Wow, I did not
One
know
thing
that.
I've had conversations with black people, white people, Latino, like just I'm talking about Americans. And one thing we all have in common is that we do not want an Indian president. Do you?
I plead the fifth.
Would you want a woman president?
No, I don't even. I don't even do what my mom tells me to do. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I don't take this the wrong way. I don't listen to women.
How can I? I just said that the leader of America shouldn't be a woman. Even in businesses and stuff like that, I don't think women should be the CEO or the leader or the manager. I'll say that any day. Because women are too impulsive. But to say that women shouldn't vote when you do that, like not to say that's going to happen, but like the idea of women shouldn't vote is automatically putting out a signal that women are second class citizens to men. What do you think?
I think that the only people that should vote are business owners, landowners, or certain servicemen. That's the only.
How about in the aspect of parenthood though? Like your children, like do you want your children to learn about certain sex topics or because it's a full and very much wide spectrum of what you vote for. That's why I don't think yes, I even seen somewhere that women are more liberal than men and I agree with that. Not that I agree with that, but that's a fact, right?
I don't
So I
think.
understand with
I don't think women are political.
I don't think they're
I don't
political
think.
just period.
I don't think. I think women follow the status quo.
Okay.
I think for a woman to be politically inclined is a little rare. I think because like for me, so like if I meet if I meet if I go out tonight, which probably I probably will. If I go out tonight, I'm gonna meet I'm gonna meet like a young black woman, right? Chances are her political leanings are liberal, Democrat. But
Because she's black or because she's a woman?
no, I said chances are
Yes, but
because
is it
she's a black woman. No, because because black women are their own demographic. Black women are their own group, like aside from black men.
no, that's
That's
correct. But is she liberal leaning because she's a woman or because she's black or because of both?
because she's a black woman. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's synergistic too. But um, if if she has if she has a humble spirit and a good heart, she's gonna at least listen to like what I have to say. And if I'm a man that she deems is worthy of leadership, then she's gonna follow my political leanings. And I think most women are just like that.
That's the right
Like people.
way it should be. Not like Elon Umar and her husband. He converted to Islam. The white guy that she married, not her brother, but the white guy.
That's not real. Not
It's not.
real.
It's
I
not.
don't know
Like
white
I
man.
think that like let's say like a man okay, a man and a woman, let's say they're in one state, they're in New York, and let's say he's like I want to move to Texas. That's normal. The woman goes with her man. Not like he wants to move to Texas and the woman wants to move to Cali. And it's not that he follows her to Cali, but she's supposed to follow him in Texas. I
just
think the woman is supposed to follow the man.
yeah.
That's what I'm
I,
saying. Not like I
I
don't
don't.
see men converting into a woman's religion. I don't see men going into a woman's direction, state or country or whatever the case.
She
So I do kind of have a foreigner. I kind of think like a foreign woman, even though I am very much American. But I do. I agree with some of the sentiments of the manosphere, and I think you can see that in this conversation. But I wholeheartedly agree with you that it's on the road to leading men to be, indulge in gluttony, become gay, women beaters, women haters, and but I still have a traditional mindset, if that makes sense.
yeah. So do you think this is what I think? Do you agree or not? I think at sixth grade, separate the men and the women, or the boys and the girls, because like when those hormones start kicking, you can't focus. And like what Trump told Billy Bush, he said like, you can kiss them, you can grab them in the certain area.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, man, I just seen that. Like I saw that a lot. Like in sixth and seventh grade, like dudes were just couldn't control themselves, and it's wrong. And think that I think that men and women will have more of an appreciation for each other if you separate them early.
I
Because
think I've seen you post that before, and you're saying starting the sixth grade through the 12th grade,
from
or
sixth grade on, because like other,
college included,
you said what?
college
What?
included, like after high school and everything as well, or just sixth to
I,
12th grade.
I ain't thought about it that far, but I just think, I mean, college is such a fake atmosphere. But college is for adults, so they're gonna do whatever they're gonna do anyway. But as far as like high school, middle school, I think it'll be more efficient with education if the girls are not so much worried about like, oh my gosh, so I got to compete with the biggest baddest bitch on the block, and the dudes are not doing like dick measuring contests. When the girls come around, because that's what it is. Like dudes get beat up because they try to show out. They try to like show somebody up in front of the girls. And the girls start laughing, and then you can't hit the girls. So you got to take your anger out on somebody. And it's just not. I don't think it's good.
Hmm. I've never heard that be proposed before,
When did you
but it sounds logical.
when did you start talking to guys on a romantic level?
Uh, High school. Um, I'm trying to think. My first, I wasn't sexually active until I was 17, which was my senior year.
I'm
So
not even talking about just sex. I'm just talking about like like just a gentleman and a lady having a conversation.
yeah, I'm trying to think. Like around 11, like junior year, high school, 11th grade.
So you don't think that do you not believe that the guys would treat the girls better if the girls weren't in front of them all the time?
Oh yeah, that, that makes
And,
sense. Because don't they say absence makes the heart grow fonder, and that applies with married couples too.
yeah, and then you don't think that the girls would have higher self-esteem if they didn't have to compete all the time with each other? And the girl that's developed early, she got the fat ass, and she got the breasts early, and all the beanpole girls, they have to look at all the guys liking her, and then the beanpole girl is getting rejected, and it just happens to be that she hasn't developed yet. She just hasn't blossomed yet. So I think that that kind of messes up. a girl's self-esteem at an early age.
Oh, I mean, I definitely understand what you're saying, and very much true. Yeah, I think it would be better. Do this in other countries, by the way?
I don't know. I don't.
Like have this type
I,
of a system to separate the girls from the boys?
I would believe so. I would
I mean,
believe
it
so.
sounds good. It definitely, um, and it'll probably not probably, but it'll add structure to men and women
Yeah.
and it'll prompt people to get married.
Yeah.
It'd just be a
Exactly.
better culture overall.
Which segues into the next point. So if the boys and the girls are separated, right, and the boys are learning man things and the girls are learning woman things, so then I think that can provide an infrastructure to where we can have arranged marriages.
So you're for arranged marriage?
Absolutely. I'm absolutely for arranged marriages because the way we date is not
You're talking
efficient.
about like Hindu and Islam style?
I'm talking about I'm talking about like I'm a dad and I'm like I call somebody and I'll be like, hey, my son is 16 and he's on his way to being an engineer. He has all the skills already. And I know that you're a good I know that you have a well ordered household and like I want him to meet your daughter. And then they meet and then the families come together and they talk. And then I'm like, okay, well, this is what we're gonna do. Like you two are gonna get married.
How do you know if that girl is the right one for your son in that situation?
Because I know her family. She's from a good family. I see how the families, conduct themselves in public. I see how the mother, presents herself. I see all that. You know,
So how does that so that means that she's good automatically?
chances.
That she's not that one sibling that might be, you know how, let's say there's like three siblings and two of them are motivated, or two of them are like principled and one of them is like a slacker or makes excuses or spoiled or something along those lines. What if she might be that sibling?
Well, I think that I think that the community will tell on her. She'll have a reputation.
So that's set in stone.
I mean, you can move. You can move and rebuild your reputation, but you're gonna just be, you basically out of the community. So now you're not safe anymore. So now you're meeting all these weird ass men that some of them are good guys, some of them are predators. But now you have to go through the bumps and the grind of trying to figure out when it's supposed to be figured out for you.
How about a woman and a man alike just get to know each other, wait until marriage, um, and in that time she gets to know you as the father. I'm going off your example. She gets to know you as the father, as being the man's father, of course. She comes around to family gatherings and outings and stuff like that. She gets to know him, he gets to know her, and wait until marriage. How about that?
When is marriage? When is marriage gonna happen?
It's up to the man.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't agree with that because I can't tell my children to practice abstinence and then get married at 35 years old and tell them to go to college. That's stupid
It's not
because
realistic.
it's, yeah, somebody told me that. Somebody told me when I go to college, just wait till you're married. I'm gonna be like, shit, like I'm like that chick likes me over there.
Your
Nah, I'm
story
good.
sounds like they're in their early 20s, right? Or I don't know. This is just all example, by the way, but
People need to get married by 17, 18 years
that's
old. You
that's
and
another thing that you're adding to this.
you
So
said what?
separate the girls and the boys in
Mm-hmm.
school, have arrange marriage, and ideally get married by 17,
Yes,
18.
have the guys learn and acquire skills that they can take to the marketplace
But
that they can.
17, 18 is too young to get married.
Why is it too
Because don't
young?
people like grow and really have more of an understanding of life in their 20s, both guys and girls? No, why are you
Because
laughing?
like how I know this is wrong, but how old are you? Let me. Are you in your
Yeah,
30s or you 20s?
I'm 30. I'm 34.
Okay, cool. So, do you know 35-year-olds that have life figured out or that know anything?
I don't know, but I feel like I'm getting wiser now than I was when I was 17, 18.
What? How do you acquire wisdom?
Wisdom is as you get older.
No, wisdom not as you get older.
No,
Wisdom
I
is
mean you can have wisdom, but you just get wiser as you get older.
no. I don't agree. Wisdom is something that you seek. A lot of people go through the same things over and over and over because they never learned a lesson. They never extract the wisdom from the experiences.
But with age, not necessarily age, or it could even be within 1 year, you perfect your craft. You get better as you get older.
Explain.
It's just 17 and 18 is too young. Like,
So when is old enough?
not that I'm not going to say there's a particular age, but
What's the ideal range?
to be wise enough
Yeah.
after 25.
Okay, you're gonna have baby mamas running around.
I mean, it's happening regardless.
I mean, but it's because we're not giving them an alternative. But I'm saying is like a guy like when I was 17, 18, like if I could have got married, I would have. But you know why I didn't? Because I ain't had no money. I had no skills.
That's
I
another,
would.
that's another, you're not the only one, you know, like 17, 18, that's when you're graduating from high school. And boys and girls alike, they get confused. Like, should I get a job, two jobs, or should I go to college? Even just that right there
we
is
we
confusion.
killing we killing all that in high school. We separate the boys and the girls in high school, and we teach the guys
The trade, like you
matter
said.
trades,
Hmm.
or we even set them up with in apprenticeships. Like if you want to be a doctor, okay, then I find a doctor, and then you're gonna go shadow that doctor like 2 times a week, and then you're gonna be in specialized classes, all that stuff. So by the time you're like 18, 19, you'll be halfway there. So it's not about, it won't be about your potential. It'll be about your projection, where you projected to go. And how far have you, how far are you away from that destination? Whereas when you're 18 and you want to be whatever, you want to be a licensed engineer, you have to go through 4 years of college and then 1 year of licensing and all that stuff, and then you have to build you got to build your portfolio. That takes like
And that adds confusion within itself.
that takes a long time, and then okay, so then you're doing all that, but you're still a guy, so you're still swimming in all this testosterone, and you want female company, so you just going through all sorts of different women. You play this game. Like I used to play this game where like I'm like, okay, so how many women can I get in a day? That's unhealthy.
Is that like sexual or just like spitting
Just
game to them and seeing how they respond?
how, how much play can I get from different women in a day? Like I used to work in the mall in college, and it was easy because they would just come, and I'm handsome, and they would just all I had to do was speak. So I always text my homeboy. I'm like, hey man, I got another one. And from whatever happened from that interaction, it happened. And what I'm saying that it's not healthy. It's not healthy. So like if you have if a young man has all these skills and then he has responsibility, that makes him more of a man. And then you're not too far away from your parents, so you still have your parents to guide you, give you that wisdom that you need to have a successful marriage.
You know what's so funny? How you're saying all of this, right? I'm still on the same topic. I see like because Vince McMahon is in hot water right now. So just I was just curious. So I looked up Vince McMahon and his wife, Linda, and okay, they're both from North Carolina, and they met in high school. It said that she was 16 and he was 19 at the time. And he came from an unstable household himself. Like he had a couple of stepfathers. And this was all back in the 50s and 60s. And when somehow yeah, his mother used to work with Linda's mother, and he used to always be at her house. And him as a young teenage boy, um, he fell in love with her, and he loved her family structure. He was like, this is normalcy as opposed to how I'm raised as a young boy. I'm having different stepfathers, and I've seen my mother get beaten on. So he knew right away, like when they both graduated, they actually did go to, I think, Eastern University in North Carolina or whatever. And he ended up getting married to her. I think they were like 20 years old. So I don't know, just reminded me of, or what you said just reminded me about how I read about that earlier today. Um, and that was a different era too. That was like during like what's that, the baby booming generation
Yeah,
back in the
yeah,
1960s or what have
yeah.
you. And I think they just got a divorce now in their 70s. So mind you, they've been together from 20, I mean no, from teenager years to, because I don't know what's up with McMahon. I guess there's some sex trafficking going on with him, so he's
Ooh,
in hot water. So that, no, that just surfaced today, or what, or it's been spiraling for the past year or so. So that's what prompted me to like. I knew him and Linda. I knew they're from North Carolina. I lived the WWE's in my backyard, whatever, over here, and so I was just curious, like just reading about them and how long they've been together. And I knew today we were gonna have this discussion. And yeah, again, they've been together since they were teenagers, and they've been together. They have two children, whatever, and they his father found the WWE initially, and she was with him, his wife, like they were young teenagers, and she built that foundation with him. So I think that perfectly goes into what you're saying. I guess there was some type of, I guess you're right, even though I'm thinking like that's too young because they were young.
of course I'm right. No.
I don't know. It just reminded me of one another. Just I had to mention that.
there there's a Bible verse in Proverbs, and it's a father telling his son, enjoy the wife of your youth. I think that's so important because a lot of women want a finished product today. And as a man, you kind of build some kind of resentment when you're trying to climb that ladder of success. And it's like nobody's checking for you because like, you're not there yet. So then when you get there, you just like, man, you know what? Fuck all of y'all. Like y'all are just y'all are beneath me and all that. Whereas the chick that's with you from the start, that helps you, grind and is always there, when you had a bad day. And, you knew that no matter like how rough, your output would be, that she was going to be there. When that guy makes it, that woman is going to be taken care of, so that's what I'm saying. Like, and it needs to start at a younger age. Like, we waste our high school years learning bullshit that does not matter, going through relationships that we should not be in. High school is basically just children raising children. All it does is it delays maturity. And then you go to college, not knowing anything, not have learning anything that will, make you a successful adult. And then you pretty much ruin your life. You have women, you have drugs, you have credit cards, then you have student debt. I tell people all the time, sex in college is the same. Sex, fire, and college is the same. Fire is good, but you have to respect it, because if you misuse fire, that same fire that can cook your food can burn your house down. So just like college has its place, but if you misuse it, it can ruin your life. It'll ruin your credit. you're gonna have so many kind of like emotional traumas that you went through in college. And I mean, do I even have to say about sex? Sex is good, you know, it's good for pleasure, it's good for stress relief, it's good for having babies, it's good for bonding. But if you abuse it, you are gonna ruin your life.
That is true, especially if you have multiple partners. So you said that this should all be developed in your youth as a man, like,
Yes. We need to
and he
start
should
getting
be married to that woman and have children with that woman, and should he only be faithful to that woman as well?
ask the question again.
So that man, like, let's say he's 19 years old,
Uh-huh.
right? And according to what you're saying, and he marries that woman, is he tied down to her for the rest of his life, faithful to her? And I mean, I know situations can happen, but I'm saying, being
Ideal.
that they're married, is he going to be a faithful man?
Isn't that what he's supposed to be?
Faithful, like, do not have sex with other women and don't cheat on his wife. That type of faithful. So is that what's the expectations that you have? That
Yeah,
he's a 19-year-old man settling down. So is he going to be faithful?
I'm gonna I'm gonna speak for me.
Okay.
I'm just gonna hold on. All right. So I'm just gonna speak for myself. I used to think when I was a kid, like I used to see like grown men married. I'm like, man, why the hell would you get married just to cheat? Like that's stupid. I'd rather stay single. Now that I'm a man, I get it. I totally understand why it happens. That said, if I'm married to a woman that's my friend, because a lot of people are married to enemies. If I'm married to a woman that's my friend, chances are I'm going to weather those storms. You know, because I think a lot of times cheating just happens because you communication stops. It's like you either stop talking or I stop listening, or I feel that you're not listening to me. So that's when the thoughts of cheating happens. And as a man, nobody wants to have like these rough days and then you got to come home and go to war with your wife. That's why a lot of men cheat. Am I saying this right? I'm I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying I
So
understand.
would you cheat?
Would
You're a
I cheat?
19-year-old man and you're married and tying this woman down at the age of 19. Would you cheat?
No, I wasn't a cheater. I've never been a cheater. I'm loyal to a fault. That's my issue. Like I love too
So that's
hard.
you personally. Within your advice that men should get married around 18, 19, 20 years old, should they be faithful in their marriage? Like, do not cheat on their woman, not having sex with other women.
Should they be faithful? Yeah, you should be faithful. Yeah, yeah, you should be faithful. Yeah, but, you know, the woman can't just, she cannot like abandon her duties as a wife. And that's not, it's like this whole cheating thing. People look at the men all the time and they don't look at the woman. You're like, okay, the man is cheating. And then like it's kind of like it's kind of like an insensitive thing to say, well, what is the woman doing for the man to be cheating on him or cheating on her? It's insensitive to ask that, but it takes two to dance. If he wasn't always a cheater, but he's cheating now, why is he cheating now? Because if he's a cheater, then he was a cheater before they got married, so he was always cheating on her. But he's not. But now, like all of a sudden, now he's stepping out. So it's like, okay, well, what happened? What changed?
Something is disconnected, something is wrong in the
That's what I'm
marriage.
saying.
If your
Because
if your wife, she's never been a cheater either, but she cheats on you, would you divorce her for cheating you?
oh,
Or
nah,
hmm?
she gotta go. Nah, you don't. That like what I said about the children. The stepchildren. They have to like disconnect. If you want to go lay at another man's bed, stay there. Don't come back. And the thing about me, like most men are going to know. a lot of women think that men are stupid, but you know, like when you, when you really love your woman, you pay attention to her, and you know all her little idiosyncrasies, the way she moves, you know, even her cadence. If something is off, then you
You
know
know it.
you're gonna know it. So like if a woman cheating on me, she gotta go. Like ain't no we gotta
Ain't
talk
no
about it. Nothing.
sickness and through health because you guys are married and stuff like that.
If she if I was sick and she cheated on me,
No,
even
no,
worse.
I was just saying. No, I was just saying like I don't. Just you guys are married and I don't know. Like there's
Nah,
no.
look,
That's it. That's a divorce.
that's a no. You gotta go. Like you lucky. You lucky we're not taking this to like the biblical times,
So
cause
if
like
you cheat on her, is she
uh
supposed to forgive you?
huh.
You know what?
Hold on. Like first of all, it's different. Like we gotta stop acting like it's the same. It's different.
Explain.
You see my finger?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather have me stick my finger in your mouth, or would you rather stick your finger in my mouth?
Why? Why are you using that example?
I mean, it's because it's a valid example. What you got to choose? Would you rather have me stick my finger in your mouth or stick your finger in my mouth?
I really don't have an answer. It doesn't matter. Or
It does.
maybe I'll stick my finger in your
It's,
mouth. I don't know. I sound wrong saying that
I would rather stick my finger in your mouth. You know why?
because you're a
Because
man.
people's
I
hands people
don't even know how to answer
people's
that.
hands are dirty, right? And then
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'd rather stick my finger in your mouth.
yeah, I'd rather stick my finger in your mouth than let you stick your finger in my mouth. So
Yes,
that's what I'm saying. It's different. It's totally different. Like when a
because you're
woman
doing the sticking and the woman's getting stuck.
look if a man, a woman screwing another man, that's like you letting that's like a man
Your
conquering your
property.
territory. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
No,
what it's like.
I get it.
You know, so I mean, like I mean, ain't
What do you say to the men that stick around after a woman has cheated on him? Because I don't like that. I'm just asking you questions just so everybody can have an understanding. These are not personal questions for me. But I do call. You see how people call Russell Wilson a simp?
mm-hmm.
I call men when they know that like he's in a relationship with a woman and she has sex with another dude or a couple of other guys, which is even worse, of course. I think he's a simp in that like she's having sex with other women and I mean she's having sex with other men and he knows it and he's still sticking around.
Yeah,
I consider him a simp and a cuck.
yeah. I think that's extreme. Like that's the easy answer for me. If you if you step out on me once, you gotta go. If she's a serial like
I've
whore,
had conversations with guys where like they've told like this one dude like he told me like he was dealing with this chick and he made an excuse for her having sex with another guy because she was drunk and he blamed the guy for taking advantage of her.
oh no, there's
That's
a
not your woman.
yeah there's a Latin saying. It's called in vino veritas, and it means that there's truth in the vine.
And that's crazy because she was Latin too.
Well, you know, alcohol they call alcohol truth serum. So what you do when you're drunk is what you really
That's
want to
what you
do.
wanted to do. Exactly.
So nah, like nah, he that's him though. Like is he wrong? I would
I view him as a simp. See, I don't view Russell Wilson as a simp, but I view him as a simp. Like a man having your girl cheated on you with another man, and then to the other men out there, like their woman cheated on him like 3 or 4 guys. Like that's some simp and cuck shit at the same time. That's how I view it.
yeah, absolutely.
And no,
I like
Eric, I'm not Indian. I'm East African, but I talk shit about Elon Umar, even though she's East African too. I'm
she's
just one of
Somali.
those people, huh?
She's Somali,
Who?
right? Yeah,
Her? Elon,
Elon.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, she's Somalian.
yeah. Like all the shit she be talking here. Like if she went to her country, like those men would beat her. Like they would beat.
Exactly.
Like so, I don't know why. I don't know why. Like those women from like the Middle East or like or even
Hindu.
Africa, like those like African men don't play. Like especially over there, like you will get beat
And
up.
that's
Like not some.
what makes me upset as a pro-American myself is that these people come like Elon Umar is a straight up refugee, like straight up, like she was born there and then she came here, and she's just disrespecting America. You would think I would be like that, being that my parents are obviously born in Ethiopia and Eritrea, but me, I'm born and raised here in America. So you would think I'm the spoiled, entitled, disrespect America because I'm born and raised here. I've never been to Africa as of yet. But no, it's actually ironically the other way around. She's the one that was born in Somalia, became a refugee, whatever, came here, and she disrespects America.
Yeah,
Just
like we
it's
need to.
and it's, she got her. She was married. She had like two Somalian husbands. Now she has a white husband, and her white husband left his wife and his son.
Hold
and
hold
and I'm kind of bringing this up, I guess, because I feel like we're kind of on the spectrum of this conversation, so that's kind of why I'm like mixing this in
hold
there.
on,
Um,
hold on. This lady's Muslim.
yeah,
She two Somalian husbands, and now a white man that converted to Islam for
yeah,
her.
like he
She's a witch.
he left his wife. He has a
She's a
wife.
witch.
Oh, he's who? Huh?
She has to be a witch. There's no like or like they live like or they got like a loose form of Islam.
That's what I'm saying. What it is she is Muslim, but she's in America. She could do whatever she wants because she's here. That's what I'm saying. That's why I talk shit about her the way I do. Like she's a terrorist. She's a terrorist. And
I just
she needs to go back to East Africa. She needs to take her ass back there. Like, yeah, her husband. I mean, yeah, she got married to the dude. He had a wife and a son, and he left them, and he started dealing with Elon
he,
Umar, and
he left
and
them.
you know what? He was working on her because you know how she's a Congress in Minnesota. He was on her team. That's how they started whatever they started. And he told her, even though he was with his wife for 8 years, he told her, "Oh, I don't want to be with her. I only got married to my wife because we had a son." So to me, he sounds like a wimp. He just sounds weak to
Yeah,
me. And then he ended up. I never heard of a man go converting into whatever their wife is. It's either you stay your religion and she stays her religion and you have some type of common ground, or she converts to you. You're the man and she converts to your religion. Maybe you teach her because you're the man, you're the leader, right?
yeah.
So you're got like let's say for instance, like maybe she was Catholic and you as a man, you're Protestant. You lead her into being a Protestant. Maybe there's something, according to you and how you came up, you think there's something more truthful in being a Protestant. So she's following your lead. But no, he converted this white man, and that's another thing about her. She says the white man is her and AOC, they're on the squad or whatever. The white man is evil, the white man this, the white man that. But why do you guys have white husbands?
They like white meat.
Yeah.
Like,
So, and I'm not, you like what you like, but it's the hypocrisy. But yeah, he converted into Islam.
nah, that's I've never heard of a Muslim woman married twice and then marries a white man that was married. Like they would excommunicate her from her community. Like
That's
I don't know what kind.
what I'm saying. And it's all, listen, she's in America,
Yeah,
and that's a privilege. That's a privilege. And that's why I'm saying she needs to take her ass back to East Africa. I don't care if that's just how I talk. But yeah,
that's what Trump.
I'm just bringing her in because this kind of collides in this conversation that we're
Yeah,
having. So, you know,
yeah. But like nah, no, you can't cheat on me. Like the thing is like I'm too loyal to allow somebody to cheat on me because like I like I don't like hold back. Like I give everything. So like it's like if you cheat on me, then you left me out naked, basically. And now like even like in the Bible, like people don't really read the Bible. like God called Israel a whore because like they were supposed to be married to him, and they kept going after other gods. You know,
You
that's
said Israel,
yeah,
the
Israel, the
country,
nation.
or what, are you talking about a woman?
I'm talking about the Bible.
No, I didn't talk about the Bible, but when you say Israel itself, are you talking about the land
I'm talking
or like
about people.
the people of
Yeah,
Israel?
the whole body of Israel
Okay.
was in a covenant relationship with God. So God was supposed to be, their God, and they were supposed to be his faithful people. So they were supposed to be faithful to him and not go after other gods. And the problem with that is all these other gods, they were into human sacrifices, child sacrifice, um, orgies. There was a lot of sexual debauchery in some of these rituals that the gods of the other nations had. So God, he would tell his people, I don't want any of y'all having anything to do with those people, because if you do, they're gonna turn your hearts away from me. Their daughters are gonna turn your sons out. Their sons are gonna turn your daughters out, and then y'all are gonna be led astray. But the thing is, Israel, they kept going after other gods. So it got to the point where God just called them a whore, and he divorced them, and he destroyed them. So
What religion are you, by the way?
I'm Christian. I'm a Christian.
Non-denomination?
Yeah, I don't get into I don't know what these denominations do. I mean, in my understanding of the Bible has evolved over time. I was almost a Hebrew Israelite and all that stuff like that, but like their rhetoric never seemed right, and they were just mean. They were so kind of hateful. So I was like, man, I know that's not of God to be hateful, and so I just, I learned, I kept learning, and I got with a group that does they do fellowship in houses and all that, and even with that, like my knowledge has evolved beyond that. So it's like in in order for me to understand the world, I have to understand the times we're living in. Like the last 3-4 years, we constantly been bombarded with, the world is gonna end, the Antichrist is coming, and all that nonsense. The vaccine is the mark of the beast. All that stuff. And the reason people think that is because they don't understand the times that we live. When I said that God destroyed Israel, like he wiped them out, and he said he kept warning them in the Old Testament. He said that I'm gonna leave you desolate, and I'm gonna call my people by another name. You know, so if you read the New Testament is all about the end of Israel, the end of that nation, because they were they were a whore. And that's why if you read Revelation, it says, I see a whore riding on a beast. And the whore is in scarlet and purple. The scarlet and purple was the color for the priesthood. That God told the priesthood in the Old Testament, he said, I want you to make garments of this color and all that. And so the reason why this is important is because of Zionism. You know,
Yes.
people think that we're supposed to, you know, pay obeisance to Israel, when the truth of the matter is that the Christian church is spiritual Israel. Because if when Paul talks about there's no Jew or Gentile, he says that the flesh, Jesus said the flesh profits nothing, but it's the spirit that gives life. So all this Zionism, and we got to support Israel, and all that nonsense, like and all this, the end of the world is coming. Like I don't rock with none of that. They talking about the vaccine was the mark of the beast. I don't rock with none of that. Like now I'm totally free to live my life. I'm free to leave my mark on the world. I'm free to to know that I have a future. I'm free to tell a woman, look, the world is not coming to an end. Come with me. Let's build a legacy together.
Moving forward.
Yeah, let's move forward. Like the world is not going to end. Let's leave a righteous mark on this society. Let's have a lot of children. Let's train them up in the way that they should go.
You
I'm
somewhat answered my question I was about to ask you in regards to the Bible, because you did mention the Old Testament. Do you go off of the Old Testament or the New, or you pretty much go off of both?
they're the same thing. The New Testament is the unveiling of the Old Testament. The New Testament is all those prophecies being fulfilled. That's what the New Testament is. And if you don't read the Old Testament, you're gonna take the New Testament out of context.
Yeah,
Which
because I was baptized as a baby. I was baptized into Orthodox. That's like the main religion in Ethiopia. I mean, Ethiopia has um, Orthodox Catholic, but then they also have Protestant, Evangelist, and Pentecost. But there's also Ethiopian Jews, and then you also have Muslims. So we like as far as the main religion, so to speak, we have that in Ethiopia. But I was particularly baptized Orthodox. I was baptized into Christianity, and through my years of life exploring, I wasn't into it. There's even a time where I was going to become a 5%er at one point in my life, but now I'm just so curious about the Orthodox. Why are you laughing? The five
those,
percenter is too strong because it's like you don't believe in a higher power. So that was because I was pro-black. I used to live a pro-black lifestyle. So it even on my health journey when I was used to be a vegan and vegetarian, all that stuff, that all coincided with me almost being a 5%er. But I didn't make that crossover because it was too strong. It was too like you're saying like you're the god or whatever. And I still call myself Earth, by the way. I still refer to myself as Earth. I still say that in my pictures or whatever. And I call my daughter my little Earth. But just to look at a man and oh he's God or whatever, that was too strong for me. So now as I'm older, I'm getting curious into my Orthodox roots and I would like to get into the Old Testament. So I understand what you just said. Like in order to get to the New Testament, do the Old Testament first, or study it or learn it first. So that's what I'm gonna
yeah.
do.
My understanding, and I may be wrong, and I just encourage anybody that's listening to this to go read it for themselves. But the the conclusion that I've come to is that God made a covenant with Abraham, and then he made a covenant with Israel. The covenant with Abraham was that through his seed, the whole entire earth was going to be blessed. The covenant he made with Israel was for Israel, was just for Israel, and the covenant that he made with Abraham was greater than the covenant he made
Not to
with Israel.
cut you off, the Muslims, because I know the Muslims they acknowledge Jesus, but was it Abraham or Muhammad? I don't know. I just blinked out. It's Abraham, right?
Abraham's their father because they say that the firstborn had the rights of inheritance, which was Ishmael, but Isaac was actually the son that was promised. That's why they say the flesh profits nothing. If you read John 1, it said that those who you know those who believed in his name, he gave them the rights to be called the sons of God. You know, that were not born of the flesh, but born of the spirit, or the will of. They weren't born of the will of the flesh, but the will of the spirit. So if you look back to Abraham and Sarah, Sarah was, she said she wanted the promise to come, but she was like, okay, well, I'm barren, I can't have any children, so go take my maid, my handmaid. Go take her, go have a baby with her, and we're gonna raise up the baby as mine. So it's kind of like an ancient version of surrogacy. But the problem was that's not what God was talking about. God was talking about Sarah's gonna have a child. Your seed is gonna come through Sarah, not the slave wife. So it's a lot of symbolism and allegories that if you go back, if you read it and then you come to the Old Testament, where it's being explained, you're gonna be like, oh, I get it now. So then you're gonna understand all these metaphors when it calls certain people like your slaves, and it calls some people free. It calls one country a whore, then it calls the church a bride, and all that. It'll make sense, but the problem is we don't ever read the Old Testament. You know, it's I don't know, it's a lot, but I've come to where I am because I wanted to know, and what I tell everybody else, I tell everybody, look, do what works for you, because if if you're looking at me, you're going you're going to see me for who I am. You're gonna see a human. You're gonna see just a man, because I have my good days. I have my bad days. I have my days when I'm doubting, but I have my good days where I know that God is with me. So it's the principles that you have to apply to your life to get results, and you can tell other people, look, this is how God has blessed me, and this is what I did. These are the principles that I espouse myself to. Whereas somebody that's homeless on the street, they're going around the people. They're like, oh, trust in the Lord, trust in God, and then people gonna be like, well, why God got you homeless? The proverb says that a poor man's wisdom is gonna be despised. So whatever journey you're on, you whatever kind of information you get, you have to put it to the test. The Bible says, "Prove all things and hold cling tight to that which is good." So I don't argue with people anymore about what they believe. I'm like, look, if that's what you believe, do you. But I'm on my journey, and I'm growing, and there's certain things that I want God to reveal to me, and all that. That's my journey.
I'm
You know,
on my journey too, and I've always accepted people like, oh, are you Catholic? Are you this? Are you like? I've always been like I've never been like type, oh, you're gonna go to hell if you're not a Protestant or a Pentecost or whatever. I don't know. I don't judge people's religions, right?
yeah.
But I've noticed in 2023 with this Israel versus Palestine, like I've been getting blocked by Muslims, and like that's something that's never like, or not blocked, unfriended or whatever, right? That's never happened. I've never fell out with Muslims before. Like I've never like I just told you a little while ago, like I almost became a 5%er, and as you know, a 5%er is a spinoff to Islam because of Clarence the 13th.
Yeah.
And or even just growing up like with the demographic that I'm surrounded by and stuff like that. Like who's always been mean to me? The Hindus, like the Indians and the Bangladesh people, they've always been
Know
mean to
why?
me. But
Know why?
because they're mean people.
Oh no, there's history there. The
Well,
like,
Ethiopia and India.
yeah, there's history there, and those a lot of Indians are really just Arabs, and back
No,
like
they're
thousands
not. They're not
Indians.
Arabs.
Okay,
They're Hindus and Sikhs and stuff like that. They don't. To be an Arab in simple terms is one that speaks Arabic. Indians do not speak Arabic.
how do you have an Indian man named Muhammad?
He's a Muslim.
Yeah,
They do have Indian Muslims, but they're not. But they don't have Indian. Even people like that region, like okay, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Syria, Iraq. Those are Arab countries. But even the country of Iran is not Arab. Afghanistan is
I,
not Arab. India, Pakistan is not Arab.
it's not ran like
It's
Persians.
Persian, exactly.
Well, um, when I look at Habesha people
Hmm.
and I look at Indians, like some of them look the same.
Yeah, we look like South Indians. That's why your friend Eric, I can't even knock him. He was like he thought I was Indian when he wrote that here in the chat. But I think there is history. Like when you look at the map geographically speaking, there is definitely history there with all these countries or whatever. Um starting from Egypt, going down to Ethiopia and Eritrea and Somalia, then going through the Red Sea, going to Saudi Arabia, Yemen, and yeah, there's obviously you can see it in my physical features, obviously, right? But I'm not an Arab.
Nah,
Ethiopians are not Arabs.
nah.
Iranian, Persian people are not like it's certain like even Lebanese. Some of the Lebanese are Arab, and some of them are Phoenician. You know, but the Indians, I'm just saying, like when they see me off the rip, just quick conversation, 2 second conversation. You know what I mean? Indians and Bangladesh, they're just very mean. And I noticed that a lot of them, the ones that are born here in America, obviously their parents are from the native land of India or Bangladesh or Sri Lanka or whatever, or Pakistan, and then they're here. I'm noticing that they're very liberal. The Bangladesh and the Indians are very liberal minded, and it's just
Yeah.
like, and I know for certain when you have a conversation with somebody, not it's not necessarily your country or your race or whatever, you could tell in a quick 2 minute conversation who's liberal minded and who's conservative minded. So me, obviously, I'm a conservative, and people just where I'm at here in Connecticut, and I've had these brief conversations with you that I'm tired of being here. I don't fit in. Not that I want to fit in. Like fuck everybody. I don't care. I'm solo dolo. But when I have conversations with the average person, including Indians and Bangladeshi, which happen to be in this area, they're very mean. But when I've chopped it up with Saudi Arabians or people from Iraq, I've never had problems with them. It's always been, or when I talk to North Africans, I never had problems with them. It's always been
Are they
peace.
mean to everybody?
The Indians,
Yeah. Are they just mean?
you don't have Indians in tech. Actually, you do, right?
Oh yeah, we got Indians here.
um, like I said, I think they're very liberal minded, and even though they have the family structure, which is automatically within their culture, they get to kind of like Elon Umar. They get to come here to America and they could do whatever. They could just say like, did you know it's like during a pandemic? I get it. The Chinese bought it here, but Indian people and Bangladeshi people, they were like, "Oh my God, wear your mask." Ew, I can't. Like, who the fuck are you guys? Y'all don't even wear deodorant.
Oh, oh.
No, I'm just
You
saying because these people are mean to me. So it's like I gotta protect myself.
yeah.
So and I don't want no Indian president of America either. And I know I said that in the beginning of this video, but yeah, this started off with the Israel and Palestine. Yes, but Indians are not Arab. Why were you saying that they're Arab? Like, what history were you talking about? Is it in the Bible or what were you?
Nah, I there was an intermingling between the people,
Ethiopia and India, right?
and that's why and they actually looked down on the Ethiopians. They actually looked down on them. They were like, don't, they were discouraging people from procreating with them, and so that's why I think that some of that hostility comes in. But to make you feel better,
No,
Indians,
no.
the Indians that I've encountered are mean as hell. They act like that. They act like I owe them something. Like
They're so cheap, right?
they cheap and they're very rude and abrasive. But
Yeah.
that's just I'm not saying that about Indians. That's just my experience. And I take everybody as an individual, but I'm not trying to sound like one of those liberals that be like, well, I have black friends. Like that's just my experience.
No, I mean it's not far fetched, but like I came to this like during this Palestine and Israel, I've had a few Muslims unfriend me last year. Like and I never one of them I think he was upset with me because and he's a Muslim and I like what you said in your live a couple of weeks ago, or I'll say maybe 2 months ago. You said that I forgot what the name of that particular live was that you did, but you had stated that when you see certain people are pro Israel or when you see that certain people are pro Palestine, everybody has their own reason. It's not necessarily government based or politic based. It's just people have their own reasons, right? So I've noticed that there are people that like okay, they're from Afghanistan or they're from Iraq or whatever country, and they're just Muslim. They're not Palestinian, but they're Muslim. So they automatically tend to be on the side of Palestine. Or that you might have people from like Poland or Latvia or Russia or whatever, or Germany, and they're not necessarily Israeli, but they're Jewish. So then they tend to click towards Israel, right? So this is just bias that certain people have, right?
Yeah.
So me, I said that I was neutral, and somebody got upset with me for saying that I was neutral in regards to, if you tell me that they're innocent babies, men, women, children, elderly dying in the midst of it, I'm going to tell you I'm neutral. Even like my mom's Ethiopian, my father's Eritrean. There's always been wars with those two. They used to be one until 1993, where Eritrea parted ways. And even people back then used to pick on me, like pick one or the other kind of a thing. Like, no, you telling me to pick my mother's country or you telling me to pick my father's country? I was neutral. I'm just when I say I'm neutral in a war, it's because of the innocent people in the midst of it. I don't care.
Yeah.
You could tell me Ethiopia is going at war with a European country, and to the extent of knowing that there's innocent babies and women and men dying, just that right there keeps me neutral.
Gotcha.
You know, but right now Ethiopia and Somalia is about to go at it over the water, but and I do believe Ethiopia deserves to have some of that Somaliland, but that's another story for another day. But yeah, just people getting upset with me because I didn't say I'm pro-Palestine, and you have to understand with Ethiopia, there's history. Um, King Solomon, I believe, King Solomon was Jewish, right? Um, hmm?
He was
Hebrew.
Hebrew. He was
Sorry,
yeah.
he was Hebrew. So what I'm saying is, as far as like Israel, particularly by itself, there's history with Ethiopia and Israel. So even in Ethiopia, right, you're gonna have some people that are pro-Israel, and then you're gonna have there's like Harar, which is a Muslim area of Ethiopia, it's closer to Somalia side. um, you're gonna have some Ethiopians that are pro because they're Muslim. Some of them are Muslims are pro Palestine. So for me, it's just like I had Muslims unfriending me, and like what I'm supposed to just say I'm pro Palestine? And then to be honest with you, that like people are probably gonna get upset with me. Um, Palestine just always seemed like I know Israel and I know Jordan and Syria and all those in Egypt. I know those surrounding countries, but Palestine to me was always unclear to me. And I don't know if I'm bugged out for saying that, but I, I don't know. Like, is Palestine like I know like was that in the Old Testament or only the New Testament?
Pal-
Philistine or whatever the hell.
okay, so the land of Palestine was the I think it was the land of Canaan that God promised the Jews. But the thing is, um, they broke his covenant. So like he said he was going to destroy them. So what happened was he destroyed them through the Roman army. The Roman army came, and if you ever read like the Antiquities of the Jews by Josephus, he was a Hebrew historian, and he was saying that there was so much blood in the streets. Things got so bad that one mother, she had ate her baby, and basically the if you read what Jesus was telling the people, he said, when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, run, run to the mountains. And so the people that obeyed, they survived. The people that stayed in the city, they got slaughtered. So that land was the land that we recognize now as Palestine. And the Romans actually named it Palestine because it was like to mock the Jews, because all throughout the history of the Jews, they were at war with the Philistines, like David and Goliath. Goliath was a Philistine, so they had told God had told Israel, don't stop intermingling with the Philistines. They're going to enslave you. They're going to take you over. And so when Rome had destroyed Israel, they named that land Palestine, to mock the Jews, because there were still some Jews still trying to fight for the land, but it was already prophesied that a nation was going to destroy them.
So this
And that's
this is forever a spiritual thing. Like literally like what we see now,
it's
that's
the,
that's what was occurring at the time.
the only reason we think it's spiritual is because we don't know the Bible. We don't know that God already judged those people that say that they are Israel, or God had already judged the nation of Israel. So all these people saying that they have a right to the land, a divine right to the land, they're lying. They don't know
So
the
that's
Bible.
the So are the Palestinians lying?
I don't know. I can't speak on what I don't know. I know that Teaching Chuck, he did a video about that, and he was saying that he was
Yeah, just saying even in the UK, like later time, I think later times from what you're saying, kind of like made Palestine. I don't know, or the Soviet Union. I know exactly what you're talking
saying
about.
that the Soviet Union had
Hmm.
actually, you know, they had told they had put like the Palestinians in their land
Yes,
because he was saying that the Arabs they didn't want to go by the name Palestinians because it was like a pejorative.
spelling. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
and
when
that
he said that to me, I mean, not to me, when he said that on the video, because you know how I'm saying me over the years, I never understood Palestine. I'm saying I never, not saying that I studied all these countries, but like, okay, I know Egypt, Ethiopia, whatever, Yemen, all these countries. Palestine was always like, when I first very heard of it a couple of years ago, I'm like, what is Palestine? I'm like, is that Pakistan? Or I'm just like, I don't know. But when he said that with the Soviet Union and how it came about, it made complete sense to me. That it's not I don't know. I don't see it as being original, if that makes sense. And
yeah
it's not to be funny or to disrespect or whatever, but it seems like a put together area.
yeah yeah a fabricated area.
Yeah.
Yeah
I don't know, but I could be wrong. Again, I'm neutral in the actual, um, and even like politically speaking, with I see like like there's dual citizenship with
yeah
people in Congress and stuff like
yeah.
that.
I don't I don't that you
What do you
should.
think about that?
I'm totally against that. If you if you're like somebody like you, I would I would assume that you have dual citizenship because your parents are from another country. But the thing is, you were born here, so you're American by birthright. Somebody that's naturalized, somebody that's American by birthright, and they get naturalized somewhere else.
That don't even have nothing to do with their parents.
Yeah,
Don't even have
about
nothing,
that. Like I don't,
because I
I
see
don't.
people judging like DeSantis, for example, like DeSantis, he's Italian, right?
Yeah,
So I could automatically assume growing up he's Catholic,
yeah.
right? Just to, you know. So I read that, you know, that the term Judeo Christian,
Judeo
yeah,
Christian.
yeah.
Yeah, I hate
So
that term.
and that's the thing that took that's fair, that like on a timeline that's something new that happened in the 1940s,
Yeah,
like the originality of it, because that was at a time in the 1940s where, like, you know how now you have LGBT, BLM, feminism, like the term inclusiveness. That's what that was in the 1940s, because you know how the Ku Klux Klan, you figure they were prominent, like they were white Protestant males,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
who did they hate?
They who did they hate?
Yes, besides they hated black people,
Yeah, they
but who else? They
do.
hated the Jews, right?
Yeah,
So during that time of Nazi Germany and everything during the 1940s, there was the liberals back in the 1940s. They wanted things to be inclusive, so they put Judeo Christianity, like the term, together.
yeah,
And and on both sides of the coins, the Christians didn't like it, and the Jewish people didn't like it. And I could understand that because they were both coming from a perspective of, hey, it's either this way or the other. But so the politicians at that time in the 1940s, being that it started at that time, um, they were like, oh, okay, some of us are Protestant, some of us are Catholic, but we want to be inclusive, and we want to, we don't want anti-Semitism to happen. So all this stuff started in the 1940s, World War II era. And they were being inclusive. So when they were having church ceremonies and funerals, they were like, oh, we're going to have the pastor, we're going to have the priest, and we're going to have the rabbi, inclusiveness. So they were doing that in the 1940s. So Christianity is a very liberal term. So there were politicians already doing that dual citizenship at that time. That's when it started initially. So how do I look at that? like, okay, going back to Ron DeSantis, not that he, I mean, he's in the here and now, right? So I know that when you say that you're a Judeo Christian, it means that you're acknowledging
The,
Hebrew,
you're
and you're
acknowledging
going and you're testing it to the Old Testament.
when somebody today says Judeo-Christian, what they're saying is that they recognize that Christians and Jews worship the same God, and
Hmm.
that's false. That is totally wrong. That is not true.
And that's what they were insinuating in the 1940s, that inclusiveness, the word's definitely inclusiveness in this
Yeah.
particular case. And they're saying that, yeah, like you acknowledge the Hebrew scriptures through the Old Testament. So I'm saying that, like, let's say, like Ron DeSantis, do you think it's like in a sense of he's doing it as being a puppet, or do you think it's because he's raised Catholic? Because I know that there's connections one way or another, like even just Jesus Christ alone is Hebrew, right? Like himself, or he was Jewish, or how, like he was a Hebrew Israelite, right? Not Israelite, but
Was he
what was Jesus Christ? He's Hebrew, right?
he politically he was from the tribe of Judah. That's all I'll say. Politically, he was from the tribe of
So do
Judah.
you think all these politicians that are dual citizenship, do you think they're doing it kind of as, how do I, what's the right word? Do you think they're doing it in a sense of being a puppet, or being like paid up? Is it not paid up? You know what I'm trying to say. Or do you think there's genuine, I mean, I think everyone is different. I don't think it's the same answer for everyone. I would say like DeSantis, I'm thinking like, because he's Catholic, I'm thinking like he's kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, like intertwined, if that makes sense.
If I mean, I don't.
Or I don't know if I'm saying that because I like DeSantis. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a
I'm,
little.
but I'm just. Is he an Israeli citizen?
How if his parents are Italian?
But
And I know
that's what I'm saying. Like,
that's how this that's what you were saying. Like you saying that if somebody like me, because not all countries have the dual citizenship option, right? To begin with, not every country has that option.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Like I know for certain, like being that like my father's like Eritrean, I know that there's a such thing as having dual citizenship, let's say with there in America. But
Yeah,
what you're saying is totally correct. Like how can somebody be Italian, which most likely they grew up Catholic at that, right? How can you have a dual, and that's DeSantis. So how can you have a dual citizenship with American Israel if your family's Italian? And
yeah.
same thing
I don't.
with a lot of these other, like Congress, like you figure some of their parents are, these white people, some of their parents are German, some of their parents are Irish. It's not
Yeah,
Israel.
yeah.
So what is that?
That's infiltration and a coup, and I say it because it's because Christians don't know the Bible. Christians allow that stuff to happen because they are under the belief that we have to support Israel at all costs, and Israel is our ally, and whatever they do, we have to support them. You know that's that's kind of like cult like behavior.
It's called like behavior, right?
Um, and some people are well meaning. They really believe that's what they're supposed to do, but a lot of people actually don't even believe in anything. They don't believe in the Bible. A lot of these people are atheists, or they're agnostic, and they're just manipulating that situation for their own benefit. So
And I can
um
understand why there are people like on the left and the right, they're just confused. Like, how are these politicians dual citizenship with Israel? And again, that Judeo Christianity thing started in the 1940s, and it was a liberal idea.
yeah,
It was inclusiveness, and it's weird when people see that these are conservative or Republican reps that
yeah.
are actually doing this. It's not even, I mean, I don't know, maybe some of the Democrat reps are doing it too, but
Well,
it's
the Republicans are the Zionists. They're the Zionists. They're
yeah, they're the Zionists, exactly, the Republican ones.
the um the the Democrats. They're more so they're just anti-American, like period.
Yeah, so it could go, it's
Yeah,
whatever with them.
either way, it's not healthy for the fabric of the nation. And me personally, I believe that this is a Christian nation. A lot of people say it's not, but I think
I
it
think
is.
this
And
is a Christian nation.
if you look at other nations that are not Christian nations, there is a stark difference between this country and those other countries. The quality of the opportunity for a high quality of life is just so much better here. People, in mass, like people still regard other people's lives. It's still a heinous thing to see a child in the street, getting run over by a car and you just ignore it. That's a heinous thing. That's commonplace in other countries. Like in China, that's commonplace.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna say that.
They're very Chinese are very
Yeah, I'm
rough.
not gonna say it's commonplace because I never been to China, but I just seen videos where like people just, somebody will be on the street and people just go about their business. Somebody will be dying and nobody stops or anything like that. So in a godless nation where people don't recognize the true God, it's
It's
it's just
like what we have going on now. Like let's say like the last 3 or 4 years, it's what we see now. Like we're a Christian nation as America, but the way people are moving like zombie-ish and
yeah,
lost and loose and so forth, it's like they're godless.
yeah. It's when you turn away from God, you're already judged, and that's what we're seeing. But I believe that it's because the church has no teeth and they have no knowledge. They won't say, "Look, enough with this Zionism nonsense. Enough." They won't say that. So now there's constantly conflict. When you base your stance on a false premise, there's always going to be conflict downstream, and that's what we're dealing with. So people have to, if you're going to be a Christian or whatever, you need to read the Bible and see what the Bible has to say about a lot of these things that people are fighting over now. If you're gonna be evil or whatever the hell else you're gonna be that, so everybody will know the difference. But with all this inclusivity and this, you can't judge or you got to love everybody. It's not good for the
Not
fabric.
good. Not good.
And like if I'm a father of my house, no, everybody's not coming in my house.
No.
We just need people that are knowledgeable and that just think. Um, you need to golly, like you need to collaborate with more people because you have a mindset that's not common, and I think a lot of people benefit from your insight. A lot of these things you're saying are kind of like real thought provocative, and a lot of people like you push people to think, and people need to think. So you need to what you're doing with your platforms, whether if it's YouTube, Instagram, just be more consistent because like people need your point of view. People need your point of view. You got a lot to offer people, and then you might even meet your husband doing that way. You know what I'm saying?
Well, thank you. Um,
It's not good. Like all these like I know more like all of my male friends are married. Most of my female friends are not. So
oh, that's crazy.
that's crazy, right? It's crazy. So that's not a good
Is that
thing.
a
Like,
coincidence?
is that a coincidence? Maybe it's just a realization of what the Manosphere says about women control sex and men control marriage. I don't
Okay.
I don't know, but I just think that I think that I think that the good women, the remnant of good women, they need to be more seen because a lot of guys, they're like, man, these women out here, they want this or that, but there's nothing to counteract that narrative. So
So how do we become seen in a world full of, and maybe I'm over exaggerating when I say this, but it seems like we're in a world full of modern women, and it goes back to this hypersexual culture that I talk about. So how do us good women become seen? I mean, I'm seen, but it's all about the approach for me. That's the issue. And I don't know. And I always tell you on a side note that I'm tired of where I'm at. So I'm kind of like, I want to go south. So for me, I don't even feel like starting anything up here at this point. So I don't know if I'm
Well,
being closed in, but I don't know.
I mean, if you're gonna do something, do it. So don't be like, I want to go south, but maybe somebody's over here. If you know you're gonna go south, make the decision, and then anytime you
And
meet somebody, you might look. I'm going
that's
south.
why I told you too. Like I'm not, I'm true to my word. I'm not gonna sit there and go south and, for instance, start a relationship up here. And, oh, I'm going south, then because the woman doesn't take the man takes the woman to another state, right? So
Yeah,
I wholeheartedly believe that. So I'm not gonna do that.
yeah. Well, I mean, if you meet a guy, and he's cool, you can be like, look, I already made up my mind to go south, so you can do what you want to do with that, but I'm going south. So if he wants to come south with you, and and he takes care of you, I mean that's a different thing. But he has to have a plan. Like if you're gonna take on a woman, you have to have a plan for the direction you want to take her. So you know,
And I don't know if you believe the like how do I say it? Like where I'm at, I'm close to New York. I'm in Connecticut, and it's liberal land over here. And I don't know if you agree with me, or if you think maybe I'm wrong, but my mentality is just very different where I'm at. And I know you told me before you haven't been in this area. Um, I'm just very different. I don't think I mean I don't think I'm better than anybody, but I'm just saying different. Like I just feel like I'm just too conservative for where I'm at, and this has always been a problem for years. Like where I just don't fit in, and it just became to the point now. I'm just where I'm at. I'm just existing. I'm not really living. I'm just
that's,
a numb person walking around
yeah, that's not
by
good.
myself. So now
Yes,
my family's here, but I'm just saying, socially speaking, um, I'm just I don't feel anything up here anymore. Like I'm just very numb, and the differences are just that's it. Like I'm just different. I'm not. I don't fit in with the in crowd. I'm not popular. I'm not. I don't have the same mentality as other people up here, and it's ran its course. But then when I go south, it's just and it's funny. It's sad because I am a New England girl. I'm a New England girl. I'm a tri-state chick. I'm surrounded by New York and Boston and all these places, and I have it in me, and I love the cold weather and everything, because that's home. But I love the South.
it ain't cold here.
No,
In
know.
fact,
Well, I've been. You're in the Dallas
I'm
subregion, you said.
I'm in Houston, and I'm running my
No,
AC.
you're from Dallas though,
I'm from Dallas.
and
Yeah,
you're in Houston. Yes, I've been to Houston,
yeah.
and I went to Houston in June.
Oh yeah. So you experience like the full effect of summertime.
Hmm.
Yeah, 'cause hell this summer.
I
Like, it's hot.
I like some. Where I'm from is four seasons,
Yeah,
so you know. But
it's seasons here, and sometimes they're in the same day. So, but but like one thing that I don't want to do is waste my life. I'm not afraid to die, but I want to live more than I don't want to die. Like I don't want to die. I want to live, but like I don't. I want to live more than I don't want to die. And what I mean by that is I want the fullness of my life. I want to live a full life. I want to live a life where I'm growing. I'm constantly growing. I'm interacting with my surroundings. I got people around me that love me. That I have an influence on how things go. That's the life. That's the life that I'm seeking to live. So if the life that you're seeking to live is not where you're at, you got to make a decision quick because time doesn't wait for nobody, and 2 years becomes 10 years really fast. So
it really does.
so yeah, just make a choice. But You know, you have to appear before you have to put yourself in front of more people. You know, because if you're not gonna go out where you are, you know, use the internet. I don't know. You know, you gotta do something. You know, it's like I told my home girl, I'm like, come live with me. You know, like, you know, people are gonna see you and they're gonna be like, hey, look at this pretty girl. You know, a balanced opinion. You know, it's not a thought. You know, so you just never know what can come from it. So you know, you just gotta be creative. You know, we live in a different time. We don't
Yes,
live in a time where,
not easy.
yeah, we don't live in a time where you're so constrained by geography. But yeah, I think this is a good place to wrap up. think I think we pretty much answered the question. Um, well, we didn't answer the question. Would arranged marriages be better or worse for society? We never really came
Yeah,
to like
you think yes, and I think
think
no.
no. Okay, cool. Well, everybody has seen why I think yes, and people have seen why you think no.
But I think
And we
you should explain that more whenever you get a chance.
okay, that's cool. I'll come back to that. And we both agree that the manosphere is quasi gay.
What's quasi
That
mean?
means like kind of, sort of. That's what it means.
Yeah, oh, that's what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
they're definitely a detriment to men and women in America.
yeah.
Um, the manosphere I'm talking about. It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. Not at all.
And I have to ask you this before we. I am 34 years old, and according to the manosphere, my eggs are fried, and I'm old, and I'm almost. My time is up. I'm a 34-year-old female single mother. So am I considered leftover goods?
Um, by which standards? The manosphere standards, or just
Mm-hmm.
objectively speaking?
The manosphere standards.
Not in the manosphere, so I don't know. But objectively speaking, you know, like I'm into medical science because I was trying to be a pediatrician, I was trying to be a doctor and all that. So I had to learn a whole bunch of things. And if you're 34 years old and you want to have more children, then keep your stress levels down because stress stress releases stress hormones, and stress hormones activate estradiol, and estradiol is an anti-fertility hormone. So like a lot of women that have premenopause, they have a high the ratio of estradiol to progesterone is out of balance. Your progesterone is your youth and your pregnancy hormone. So when women get into menopause, they can actually reboot their cycle if they take progesterone. So progesterone is the hormone that keeps you young and fertile, and usually that hormone tanks like with stress or like when you're like 55. So you know, I'm not gonna say you have time, but just use the time you have very wisely.
I definitely have time.
None of us have time. None of us. None of us have time. I'm saying like I'm 37. Like
You are
I remember when I remember when I was 27 like it was yesterday.
true.
Time flies. Like we that's what I used to hate about I used to talk to this girl and you know we kept going back and forth and you know we just we couldn't get on the same page and she used to tell me if we were meant to be together we'll be together and I was like that's the biggest load of bullshit ever. And now that I'm older and wiser, that's an even more bigger load of bullshit ever. You know, like time is just gonna go, and people are just gonna wait for their destiny to come to them. The only destiny that's gonna come to them is decay,
Getting
and that's
older.
yeah. They're just gonna get older and they're gonna decay because they don't want to take control of their lives. They don't want to go after what they want. You know, that's the biggest load of shit. If we were meant to be together, be together. And A lot of young girls. That's why we have a manosphere. Because when women were young, they were telling guys shit like that.
No, trust me. Like I said, like initially, I loved the manosphere to combat feminism. To get rid of that toxic feminism. But as I went down the line, furthermore, they're degenerate and yeah, they're borderline gay. So I agree with you on that. I don't know. We definitely got to do this again.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. We'll be more structured next
would you be
time.
open to it doesn't have to be in a particular order of how we do these videos. I see a lot of black men complaining about black American women doing like witchcraft. So, which I just keep hearing it. And listen, you could call me naive. I've been very shocked to hear that because I still think of the original conservative black women. So, would you ever want to like whatever we could talk on the sideline of what our next topics would be? But are you open to the witchcraft topic?
I mean, if you want to go there, like the women these days, they say that men have poor conversational skills. I'm not that guy. Like I could talk about anything.
Yeah, I
So
see.
yeah, just you give me a topic, we'll rap about it. It's all
So
good.
yeah, I'll hit you up on the side. Are you gonna post this video as well?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely posting it. I'm gonna chop it up though. I'm gonna post the whole thing and I'm gonna chop up segments because people's attention span is low, and we have been going like 2 hours.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, we have. Didn't even realize
And
it.
I'm gonna post it on YouTube probably like
Oh
next
yeah,
week.
so I'm gonna hit you. Send me your YouTube channel so I can post it on my YouTube. Whenever you chop it up or whatever.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right. It was nice chatting with you.
All right, you have a good
Later.
evening.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
All right, yeah, everybody, we'll see y'all.
Bye.
Bye.